Good afternoon and welcome to the March 4th edition of Success by Association Live. This issue is sponsored by Visit Greenville MC and Biltmore Farms Hotels. We thank them for their steadfast support of AENC. Today's article was written by Mary Elizabeth Murphy and is reprinted with permission. The article is titled Accountability, It Starts With You. Accountability is a tricky thing. Oftentimes, the first thing we think of when we hear the word accountability is holding others accountable. They didn't live up to expectations. Their ego got in the way of making progress. It's not me, it's them. Strange, isn't it? That when we think accountability, we don't first think of what we can control. First things first, if you're going to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. Accountability needs to start with you, not them. By walking through the reset model, you'll be encouraged to focus on yourself rather than other people. Let's dive deeper into how we can shift our mindset from blaming others to being accountable for ourselves. R, recognizing your button is pushed. Your stomach tightens, your jaw clenches, your fist ball, yet your button has been pushed. One of the first things we can control is unpacking our feelings and recognizing our frustration. Thoughts like, why are they doing this to me? Or why aren't they taking responsibility? Creep into our minds and start dictating the narrative from there forward. When you find yourself following these patterns, pause. Recognize this might not be intentional. Recognize your interpretation might be spurring an emotional reaction. Recognize that you have the power to control what comes next. Questions to ask yourself. How do you know that your accountability button has been or is being pushed? How do you feel when someone isn't being accountable? Is there tension? How can you take control of those feelings and be constructive in finding a solution? E, identify the expectations you had to begin with. Disappointment is bred from expectations. When there is friction between what happens and what we expect to happen, it's natural to feel disappointment settle in. Many times, expectations are also at the core of values, beliefs, and behaviors. The lack of accountability issue you may be facing might be rooted in unclear expectations. Perhaps the other person did not know your expectations. Maybe you could have had more check-ins to ensure that they were making the progress you had anticipated. Questions to ask yourself. What did you expect from the other person in this situation? Were they aware of the expectations? Why were you disappointed? How can you take actionable steps to talk through this disappointment to avoid it reoccurring in the future? S, accept that your sense of self played a role. When we think through why we make certain decisions, we need to understand who we are as individuals plays an important role. Our sense of self drives what, how, why, and when we want something to happen. While we understand our own motivations and self-drivers, many times we don't take the time to deeply comprehend and appreciate where the other person is coming from. In order to be accountable, remember that adage, know thyself. When you truly know yourself, you know what pushes your buttons, what you expect, what you believe, and so much more. On the other hand, in order to hold others accountable, it's helpful to understand their desires on a deeper level as well. Questions to ask yourself. How did what happened make you feel about yourself? Did it make you feel uncomfortable because of your beliefs or values? Before everything unraveled, did you know about what was important to the other person? Did they know what was important to you? E, emphasize your core values. When we re-emphasize our core values and observe rather than react, we are better able to live by our core values and maintain a level head. To know what you care about, start by making a list. By exposing what is important to you, it's easier to identify opportunities for frustrations. Let's take the value of integrity, for example. Perhaps you're a person who does what you say you will do. While we might think others live by the same value, the reality is that they may not. This does not mean that they aren't honest or trustworthy. It just might mean that they don't value doing what they say they will do as much as you do. When it comes to value difference, it can be difficult to bridge the divide. Seek first to understand your own values, and then ask about the other person's. Next, have a conversation when a cooler heads prevail. Be curious and willing to learn. Find your shared values and then see where you are able to come up alongside this person to solve the problem together. Questions to ask yourself. What core value is shaken? Do you think other people share this value? What values might you share with other persons? How can you clearly and calmly tell the person that this is where the agitation is stemming from? T, take stock to move forward. To truly grow, reframe the changes and problems in your life from threats to opportunities. By taking stock of what issues you've had in the past, you'll be able to build a better future. Outline what actions you chose that led to your accountability button being pushed. Note the consequences of each action. If there are places where you could have done better, highlight them and work through what a better action might have been. Ultimately, your actions led you to where you are. By taking stock in them, you can position yourself to reach where you want to be. Questions to ask yourself. What did you want? What did you do or not do to get what you want? How did you hold yourself accountable for your actions? And do you want others to hold you accountable for your actions? If so, did they know that this has been communicated and encouraged? Change comes with practice. The easy way out will always be to blame, point fingers, and displace frustrations into others. Instead, let's grow. Challenge yourself to be more accountable for your actions and your inactions along the way. Be positive and recognize that you always have a choice. Talk through your opinions and feelings with your team. Take control of your attitudes and behaviors. Remember to pause, reset, and move forward when you feel the lack of accountability, frustration wriggling into your life. In the end, know that accountability always starts and ends with you. Everything else is out of your control and should not have the authority in your life to push a button. This article was written by Mary Elizabeth Murphy, founder of Star Resources and creator of Reset Your Buttons. That concludes our article. We hope you have a great day.